1. 11 years ago. The wedding. Paula Kettering pressed the key on the driver's side of her silver BMW, listened to the satisfying thud as both doors locked automatically, and walked the 2 blocks along Grant to Old St. Mary's Cathedral, a seasoned relic that had survived the earthquake of 1906 with only minor damage and had the proud distinction of never having been destroyed in any of the many San Francisco fires. Paula loved the old church, built by the first Archbishop of San Francisco, Alemany, in 1853. She also loved San Francisco, including the July weather, which was typically San Francisco today. Low 60s, patchy fog that would or would not burn off, no one ever really knew, even though they always said they did. Although, Paula decided, smiling, if the bride had anything to say about it, the sun would definitely be brilliant overhead by 1 o'clock. Lindsay Foxe had the world by the tail, or whatever the expression was. She got what she wanted, and that was what was important. This was one of the few society weddings Paula had been looking forward to. All summer she had bitched, mainly to herself. All her Saturdays and Sundays were shot because of society weddings. Ah, but this one was a treat. The social wedding of the year. The brilliant daughter of Judge Royce Foxe and stepdaughter of his rich second wife, Jennifer Haven Foxe, was marrying a wealthy Italian prince, Alessandro di Contini. Paula remembered what Elbow Gadsby had written in the Chronicle, syrupy crap all of it, and wished she could have added her own touches to that announcement some 6 months before. Perfect Sidney Trellison Foxe, graduate of Harvard Law School, Phi Beta Kappa, Mensa, a contract lawyer in the international law firm of Hodges, Kramer, Hughes, and about a dozen other names. No doubt, Sidney Foxe would one day in the not-too-distant future have her name with all the other partners. Was marrying a damned prince from Milan. She would become a princess and a lawyer, and so damned rich it made a normal person sick. Yeah, Paula thought, that's what I would have written. All of it true and very sickening. Paula couldn't wait to see Sidney's wedding gown. It was a Brawley original from Rome, and reportedly cost Judge Foxe a gratifying $25,000. Well, the philanderer could easily afford it. Paula chose the most handsome of the groomsmen, a Frenchman of impeccable manners and ink-black eyes that held more worldly knowledge than they should at his age, to escort her into St. Mary's and seat her on the bride's side. There weren't too many people on the groom's side, understandable since the groom was a prince from Italy. Only his immediate family was present. A tall, slender gentleman in his 70s, the grandfather on the mother's side, as patrician as a nobleman in a Renaissance painting. Beside him was the prince's mother, who was the old man's equal in carriage and what Paula called presentation. They dripped money in the understated way of old and comfortable-with-it wealth. Next to the mother sat a young woman in her mid-20s, the groom's sister, and she wasn't at all patrician-looking. She looked like a tart restrained by elegant clothes that didn't belong to her, just forced on her for the day. She looked sullen, her dark eyes mean with temper. But what was she so pissed about? There was no shortage of straight men in San Francisco. If she happened to ask, Paula would be glad to give her a few tips. Paula silently pulled her small, gold Alton pen from its sheath in her thin leather notebook and began to make her notes for the column that would appear on Sunday morning. She shivered and looked up, annoyed. Every cathedral she had ever been in was always damp and chill in the foggy summers, and it bothered her fingers. She had Raynaud's syndrome, and any change in temperature turned her fingers blue with cold.